your cameras, please. Welcome to Glecta. No, dear, I can't see you. Okay, yes, there you are. Now I can see you. Sit in the center, dear. All right, I can see your virtual background settings. All right. So in today's class, I'm going to be doing the basics of shapes, right? This is the concept that we have for today's class. The basic, like what are 2D shapes, what are 3D shapes. It's a basic, it's a thing that, well, it's a class where we're going to discuss the basics only, right? And over here for the next live class also, I want you to remember the dates. Today we are doing shapes in today's class. Then the next live that we be having is on 2nd August. All right, 2nd August is next Wednesday, same time, 4 o'clock. All right, and then yeah, you're saying something, Abdul Makir? Yeah, and after this, actually, you have your next live on Saturday as well. That would be an English live class. Usually on Saturdays, you have VR or NVR, right? Usually you have it on Wednesday that you're having an English lesson, right? So make sure that you remember these particular dates so that you don't skip out any class in case you did not want to attend VR session and you wanted to do for English, just in case that you do not get confused. All right. So today's class starting with shapes. Now, if I talk about 2D shapes, can anybody explain me the difference between a two-dimensional shape and a three-dimensional shape? Okay, so Abdul Makit is raising his hand. Yes, Abdul? Correct. So, Noor, can you give me examples where we can, you can distinguish that, okay, this is a 2D shape and this is a 3D shape? Correct. So, give me an example there. Correct, correct. So if I talk about a cube, you can say that a cube has 6 squares in it. Yes, can we say that? No? Yes or no? Yes, we can. And if I ask about the number of edges in a cube, so Abdul, you tell me how many edges do we have in a cube? 12. Noor, how many vertices do we have in a cube? Correct. Very good. We have 8 vertices. So, like I said, I'm going to be discussing the terminologies today mainly, right? The kinds of terminologies that we use for our cubes, cuboids, and everything. All right. So, over here, moving on. Okay, those of you who do not know, we have summer intensive course which have already begun in July and August. So, there would be 2 hours of classes online daily. So, I would want if anyone is interested, you can register on the numbers that are given on the screen. All right. In case you're interested for any classes, because this is the right time, I would say, because you have your vacations and schools going on, right? So if you want to inquire about any of these courses, all right, talk to the admin team. Okay. So now I'm going to be starting with polygons. Basic thing. Polygons is when you have closed figure, right? The thing about polygons, when we talk about regular polygon or irregular polygon, regular is when you have all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal. Irregular polygon is that not all the sides are equal. Even if I have a four-sided shape in which I'm saying that these 3 sides are equal, but one side is not equal, still you would call it as an irregular polygon. All right. So now over here, when we talk about regular polygons, a regular 3-sided shape, that's an equilateral triangle. A regular 4-sided shape, that becomes a square. We have our names specifically for triangle and square. All right, equilateral triangle and square. Otherwise, we just use the word regular in front of them. So we call regular pentagon, regular hexagon when all these sides are equal. All right, those of you who are entering, please mute yourself so that I don't have any background noise. Yeah. And I would want you guys to turn on your cameras. Elizabeth and Zainab, I can't really see you. So if you feel comfortable, please turn on your video. All right. Otherwise, stay active on the chat box, right? Yes, Elizabeth. But darling, I can't see you. So maybe your camera is like a, covered with something. Maybe I can't see you. No, dear. It still shows a black. on my screen. Never mind. Okay, so like I was saying, we have terms like regular pentagon, regular hexagon for the remaining, right? A five-sided shape is called a pentagon. A six-sided shape is called a hexagon. Then we have heptagon, we have octagon. Now I'm going to be asking, okay, Zainab, you tell me, what is a nine-sided shape called, darling? Yes, Zainab? Yeah, my question is that what is a nine-sided shape called? It's a nonagon. All right, nonagon. Nonagon. I've written it on the screen. This is a shape which has nine sides. Abdul, tell me what's a shape with 10 sides called? You're muted. Very good. It's called a decagon. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to switch the slide. Yeah. So, Noor, you tell me what's a shape with eight sides called? Noor? Very good. Elizabeth, tell me what's a shape with seven sides called? Yes? Yes, Elizabeth, can you hear me? With seven sides, that's a heptagon. So you see the sides on the screen, right? You have to remember these. All right. Now moving on to the next one. These are like irregular shapes. The earlier ones that you saw, they were regular shapes, right? Regular triangle, regular pentagon, and so on. Now you have irregular shapes. These are different, sizes. But over here, if you see, you count on the number of sides one, two, three, four, five, six. So this is a hexagon, right? Then, mainly coming to the types of triangles that we have. When all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal, we call it an equilateral triangle. When there is all different sides, then we call scalene. And when we have two sides are equal, or if we have a pair of angles which is equal, we call that as an isosceles triangle. Now this becomes automatic. If you're given in the question that only two sides are equal, it's automatically saying that the angles that are there under those two particular sides, those angles are also going to be equal. Then coming to the next bit, which is about quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals are your four-sided shapes, right? Which have four sides. Now, further on, you've heard about square, rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezium, kite. So, what's the difference between all of them? See, in square, all the four sides are equal. In a rectangle, only the opposite sides are equal and all the angles are 90 degrees, right? In a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal and parallel, but the angles are not 90. Then in a rhombus, all the four sides are equal, but it's not a square, right? The angles are not 90 degrees over here. Then comes the next one, which is trapezium. We have one pair of parallel sides. Parallel sides are those sides which never intersect each other. All right, they go straight together. So this pair of parallel sides you see, right? And then you have another pair of non-parallel sides. Is this part clear to you? How we are discussing about quadrilaterals? Is it clear to everyone? All right, great. So now moving on to the next one where we have to talk about circles. Circle have a radius and a circumference. Now over here when we talk about the radius, see, the center is that particular point from which the length to the circumference is always the same. You can never really judge which particular length is longer or shorter, right? So that's the center point. And the distance between the center of the circle and any point drawn on the boundary of the circle, that's called the radius. And when you join the end points, that's the diameter. Now over here, Zainab, you tell me, can I say the pink line that I have drawn? Is it the diameter? Yes, Zainab? Zainab, can you hear me? Hello? Darling, you're muted in case you're speaking. I need you to be more interactive on the chat box. Yes, Zena. Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. So my question is, you see a pink line that I have drawn over here. Can I say that it is a diameter? Why not? Correct. It does not pass through the center, so we would not say that it is the diameter. One important thing that you can note down that the diameter is always double of the radius. All right, it's always double of the radius. So if I have a look at the question now, one by one, you guys are going to answer me. So I'm writing down the names on the screen: Noor, Elizabeth, Zainab, Abdul Mukid, Mustafa. Last one is pretty easy. Come on, that's a triangle. I've given you the answer already. Okay, so starting with Noor. Yes, Noor, what's this shape called? Trapezium. Very good. Elizabeth, your turn. This is a hexagon. One, two, three, four, five. It has five sides, right? So we would call it as a pentagon. All right, Elizabeth. Okay, next one. Zainab, what's this shape called? One, two, three, four, five. Again, this one is a pentagon. Good. Abdul Mukhi, your turn. One, two, three, four, five, six. Is it a regular hexagon, Abdul, or is it a irregular hexagon? Very good. Regular hexagon. All right. Mustafa, dear, unmute yourself, please. Mustafa, can you hear me? Okay, Mustafa can't hear me. So, Ashar, I see you have joined lately. So, dear, can you please unmute yourself, Ashar? Ashar, can you hear me? Yes. Can you tell me the answer for this one? How many sides does this shape have? All right. Do you know what's a shape with 12 sides called? Sorry? Okay. So others agree with it? Yes? Dodecagon. This is dodecagon. Good. All right, then last one is, come on, pretty easy, right? We don't have to do that one. This is a triangle that we have. Then coming to the next one. Now you guys are quickly going to tell me is it true or false. A circle having a diameter 4 centimeter has radius of 2 centimeters. So I'm giving you guys exactly 1 minute. That is 60 seconds. Write down in the chat box A part if it is true or if it is false. Write F and T, A part, B part, and write it in one single message. Otherwise, reading like A, somebody's giving me for A, then somebody's next is giving me for D, that would get difficult for me to read. So I want everyone to answer me in one single chat box, in one single message, and write your answer. Your time starts now. I want everyone to give me the answer. You just have to mention if it's true or if it is false. Use the property of the shades that we have just studied. All right? Okay. Abdul is giving me the answer. Great. I want Elizabeth, Noor, Mustafa, Zainab, Asar, all of you guys to give me the answers quickly. Okay, Abdul has given me the answers for all of them. You guys have last 30 seconds very quick. Okay, where are your answers? I hope you guys are not texting Glecta over there. You guys have to text me your answers. All right? Everybody, quickly text me your answers. Okay, I've received answers from Elizabeth and Abdul till now. Nobody else has given me the answer. Noor, Zainab, Mustafa, Azhar, And I can see Opal has just joined us. So please, everyone, give me your answers. Okay, let's quickly discuss this one. A part, a circle having diameter 4 centimeter. Like I told you guys, that diameter is always double of the radius, right? So this one is definitely true. For the B part, what's a parallelogram? A parallelogram is a four-sided shape which has opposite sides are equal and parallel. So every rectangle is a parallelogram. True. A decagon has 10 sides. That's the definition of decagon. A regular octagon has 7 angles. No. Octagon has 7 sides, right? So a shape with 7 sides would have octagon is a shape with 8 sides. So a shape with 8 sides would have 8 angles. So this is false. A scalene triangle has all sides of equal length. When we have all sides of equal length, then that triangle is called equilateral triangle. Scalene triangle is the one that has all sides different, right? So this is again false. These are my answers. But now let's move on to the past year paper question kind of thing. What fraction of this 3 cross 3 big square must be shaded over here? Now again, use your properties of um, square. Now, if you see very closely, the shaded part that you observe in this bit, you see this line, this triangle that is shaded in the first square, that's the same triangle over here, right? So when you combine this shape together and this shape together, this in total forms one square, right? Similarly, the shaded part over here is the part that is unshaded over here. So this combined together becomes square number 2. Then over here, again, this is completely in the center, square number 3. Then we have square 4 and square 4, right? Similarly, over here, this shaded part is the unshaded part over here. So square number 5 over here. So in total, if you observe, we have 5 shaded squares. Now count the total number of squares: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So very easy. 5 out of 9 is my answer. All right. Okay, I can see. Why are you guys giving me 4 out of 9? 4 out of 9? No, we have 5 squares, right? So 5 squares are shaded. All right, is the A part clear to everyone? Thumbs up. Thumbs up, everyone. Okay, great, great. Now, moving on to the next one. Now, if I remove this part, then out of 5, now instead of 5, we have 4 squares which are shaded. So over here, 4 out of 9 would be my answer. Just remove one square from there, right? It still says the same: 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So these are my 4 squares that are shaded. So 4 out of 9 squares are shaded. All right. Now, coming to the next one, the perimeter of this shape is 40 units. The sides are labeled X centimeters. Okay, no, yes, dear, you're raising your hand. Any problem with this question? Yeah. I just told this one, the answer that I gave, it's not for this one. I told you guys that 4 out of 9 parts are shaded now. So if you have to see what fraction of the shaded square is unshaded, so you can see this as an entire big square which has 5 squares in it, right? So over here inside, now out of 5 I have shaded 4 squares, right? So 4 out of 5 would be the answer for this one specifically. The question that, I mean, the concept that I was discussing was for the overall square. All right, the overall for 4 out of 9 I gave you the overall, I mean the answer for the overall. For this statement it's different thing. All right, no, for this one 4 out of 5 would be the answer. All right, yes. Now, moving on to the next one after this. This one question, we were discussing about this thing. So, yeah, we are given that the perimeter is 40, right? One second. Now, over here, use simple concept that over here, if you see the lengths of the, in the left side, x, x, and x, right? Total perimeter is 40. The sides are labeled as x centimeters, right? So if this is x, if you just consider the verticals together, 1, 2, 3. So that means this total length would be 3x, right? Similarly, if you consider the horizontal sides together, this is 5x and x. So 5 plus 2x. This is my vertical length, right? So I am getting 5 plus 2x on the bottom side, then x plus x plus x. Again, this is coming out to be twice, and then plus 3x. Like length and width counted twice, right? So over here, the perimeter, this is given to be 40. Now you just have to solve this particular equation, everyone, right? So this becomes 2 times brackets 2x plus 3x, 5x, 5x plus 5, right? So this becomes 10x plus 10. This equals 40. Now to solve this particular equation, we have 10x equals, subtract 10 on both the sides, you get 10x equals 30. 10 is being multiplied over here. So to solve the answer, you would divide your fraction by 10. So x equals to 3. This is my answer. Is everyone getting it? All right, all clear, all sorted? So this was the part that we discussed about 2D shapes. Now guys, this is the summer curriculum, like students entering for year 5 and year 6. This is our curriculum that we have, the division that we have done for the 11 plus common pre-test course that we are launching in 20, in the upcoming month, right? So I would want everyone to have a look at it. If you have any queries, as I said, you see the numbers on the screen, you can text them, you can WhatsApp them, you can call them and ask your queries. Whatever we discussed in today's lesson, is it clear to every one of you guys? Yeah, thumbs up. All right. Now, quickly discussing a little bit about 3D shapes, which we discussed in the beginning as well. All right. So over here, when we talk about 3D shapes, it has length, width, and height. When we have a two-dimensional shape which is closed, we call that as polygon, right? When we have these 3D shapes which are closed, we call them as polyhedrons. All right. So now over here, when we talk about regular polyhedrons, all these sides, I mean all the faces are having equal area, like cube. When we have equal prisms, pyramids, that kind of stuff, right? So these are my regular polyhedrons, right? This is just the difference in the naming. So these are my names that you see. Different, like when we talk about irregular polyhedrons, we have for irregular polygons, we have cuboid, we have cone, we have square base pyramid, triangular prism, and all of these. All right. Okay. So these were just the names that we discussed in the end. I hope nobody has any doubts in whatever we have done so far. Mark this one question as your homework. Take a screenshot very quickly and mark this as your homework. Mustafa is in a hurry to leave, right, Mustafa? Yeah, don't worry. I'm just going to end it soon. Yeah. So over here, this was the last question, which you have marked as your homework, and that would be all for today. All right, like I said, if you have any queries, you WhatsApp on these numbers that you see on the screen. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and that you're there on the Glecta Telegram platform as well. All right, thank you for joining me today. That's all for today. Bye, guys. Bye bye.